The chances of a government shutdown are much higher than people would have thought in the past few weeks. The political leaders have stopped negotiating, and at this point it seems like the House is dug in, the White House is dug in, and there's not going to be a deal reached in time. If the government shuts down, about 800,000 federal employees will not come into work on Tuesday. They will not be paid for the time they're off, and the longer the shutdown goes on, the longer they will go without pay. A lot of basic federal services like the mail, federal law enforcement, and also the military will stay in place. They will protect national security. But the longer the shutdown goes on, the more problematic those services will also become. The impact of a shutdown can depend widely based on who you are. For example, if you're in a family with someone who is no longer getting paid and no longer going to work, that could have an immediate impact on your ability to pay your mortgage, buy groceries, that sort of thing. The impact on a lot of other Americans will depend, although the longer this goes on, the impact could be much greater, particularly on investors. They could start to get worried that the political dysfunction in Washington is really going to get out of bounds around the time of the debt ceiling, and so that's when we could really start to see more movement in the market. There's been 17 government shutdowns since 1976. There hasn't been a shutdown since 1995-96. That shutdown was 21 days. Sometimes government shutdowns are just a day or two, sometimes they're a week. They can stretch for several weeks. This time it's hard to predict because the longer a shutdown goes on, the more both sides might dig in unless they feel the political ramifications are going to be really tough.